Mr. Trump has been a well-loved television presenter and a businessman for many, many years. And what we have now is that he's President of the United States. I know many people don't agree with some of his policies, and that's fine. But over the last few months, there's been what I would call an outpouring of absolute hysteria about President Trump and what he stands for. I think this is completely unjustified. And what we have today in this motion is a continuation of the selective outrage over people who just unjustifiably don't like President Trump. We have the
don't like discrimination.
Basically virtue signalling from the motion and from the mayor for the benefit of the BBC and the Guardian and the Standard, and perhaps some of the people who read those papers and watch that television channel. Now, what the motion doesn't do is it doesn't make any mention of President Obama's 2011 ban for 6 months, travel ban for 6 months on Iraqi citizens, which was exactly the same principle as President Trump's 3-month ban on citizens of 7 countries. Unlike what is alluded to in this motion, it is not a ban on any particular religion. It is a ban on citizens of 7 countries, which are mostly failed states where ISIS are in operation to a very, very large extent. It is for the purposes of security, and the majority of American people support it, and actually polls show that the majority of people in Europe also support it. You may not see that here in inner London, but outside where other people might live and not watch the television station and read the newspapers that I've spoken about would also agree too. Now, I, for that reason, oppose this motion, and also for other reasons. We spent a lot of time talking about the first paragraph of the motion. But let's go into the second paragraph. It says, "This Assembly fears," and then goes on to talk about Donald Trump's presidency. I don't think there's anything to fear as London and as the United Kingdom from a President Trump. In fact, I think he's going to be very good for this city and for this country. The very first politician in the world to go and visit President Trump after his election was Nigel Farage, indicating what a fantastic, high opinion he has of this country. And after he actually was inaugurated as the president, the very first world leader he met was the Prime Minister of this country, again showing how much he values and wants to continue with a special relationship with this country and how highly he regards this country. And in fact, he's indicated that he's likely to give a very good trade deal to this country after Brexit, and uniquely that the financial services industry of this country, based in this city in London, may have privileged access for the first time to the financial services, the financial industry and markets of the United States. This would be an incredible boon for this country. But what this motion does is it gives to someone who has got such a high opinion of this country, who is willing to give this country every benefit, every goodness of a good trade deal, it gives him a slap in the face. And I think that's going to be bad for this country and bad for this city. And if we vote for this motion, we're actually shooting ourselves in the foot, because we've got a president who very highly esteems this nation and this city. And I don't think that we should vote for this motion. There are a couple of things in here that I do see, there are a couple of points which are made in the third paragraph that are good to consider. We want to make sure that any trade deal that we do have between the UK and the US allows the NHS to continue operating as a public organisation, not to be jeopardised in any way by any trade deal, and to make sure that we have standards for imported goods and services will be maintained where there's a possible disparity. And I know one of the great things that President Trump has done in his very first week is because of him, and also because of Brexit, TTIP and the TPP, these two trade deals, these global trade deals, which would have put the NHS in jeopardy, which perhaps would have lowered standards if this great trade deal between the EU and the USA went ahead. He's killed that. So because of President Trump, because of Brexit, we've actually not got that, and I think we've got nothing to fear.